and welcome to a new episode of My Wrestling Life. Now, it's been a long time since I've done one of these. I decided to do one today because I was just watching the documentary series Dark Side of the Ring, and the episode was the last days of Owen Hart. And it got me thinking when I saw that tragedy unfold on TV, I ordered that pay-per-view. But I'll come back to that in a second. I've watched wrestling since before WrestleMania was even around. I was a lonely kid that didn't have a lot of friends. So, these characters on TV, these wrestlers, were kind of like my outlet. They were my friends. And, I grew up watching all the greats. But then along came a wrestler named the Blue Blazer. And, the only thing I knew about the Blue Blazer is that obviously it was Owen Hart, and that Owen Hart came from, Calgary Stampede Wrestling, and it was obviously trained by the legendary Stu Hart. But the Blue Blazer was doing things I've never seen before. Backflips off the top rope, using the ring ropes to do flips. It was revolutionary. It took the high flying to a new level, and he was such a likable character. He had that superhero persona, and some of the great matches he had, especially the one that he had with Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig. And they decided to ditch that gimmick, and he came back and he played the jealous brother of the great Bret Hart, and that WrestleMania 10 match is still one of my top 3 favorite matches ever. Brother versus brother. Following Owen's career, he was one of those that character that he was. You'll love to hate him, but in real life, he was the complete opposite. He was a loving father. He loved his kids. He was funny. And you got to see a lot of that funniness when he teamed with the British Bulldog. Him and the Bulldog was more of like straight arrow. Didn't have much of a sense of humor, but him and Owen were a perfect tag team. Complete opposites of each other. And like I said, we come to that night in 1999 when he came back as the Blue Blazer, and he was set to fight the Godfather. And I just remember, JR was talking about how there was difficulties, something happened. Owen Hart, was supposed to make a grand entrance, and there's some difficulties right now. And it was like they were playing like the stall game, and and every time they would show the arena, they would never show the ring. They would show everywhere else, and then they cut to a promo with Jeff Jarrett, and you knew right then something was wrong. Jeff could not stay in his character, and he was praying for Owen Hart, and So then all of a sudden Jerry Lawler makes an appearance, and you're confirmed by looking at Jerry Lawler that something wrong, especially when he said, yeah, things don't look good right now. And I believe they had one more match, and JR kept reiterating that this is guys, this is not part of the show. This is not like an angle or a script. This is real. This is real life. And then when he broke into I have the unenviable task of announcing that Owen has passed. It was like, you would think you're praying that it was a storyline. You're praying that this is just, and even if it was a storyline, though, it would still be, a sick angle. But at least you would know Owen's alive. But when it finally is announced that he's gone, and this is 24 years ago, and it still gets me every time. Then the night, see, I can't even talk. The next night on Raw, they had a tribute show, and they all said the same thing: how much he loved his family, and that he was the biggest prankster. Owen wasn't one of those guys that goes on the road and ignores their family, or just I'll see them when I see them. He made every attempt to still be a father. They also said that Owen, didn't spend a lot of money on the road because he wanted to save his money to send home. So everyone else would go like into restaurants and everything, and Owen would like get something small, like it cost a couple bucks. That's how much he loves his family. He wanted the money he made to go to raising his kids, supporting his family. And here's the one thing I just really learned recently is, and this will tell you what kind of guy Owen Hart was. On that night when he fell from the rafters, the last thing he was saying, he yelled to Jimmy Corderas, "Move, I don't want to hurt you." He was more worried about the people below, knowing that he was probably going to die. That's Owen Hart for you. I know I didn't know him personally, but like I said, I felt like those guys were all my friends. And I'm not afraid to admit, I still watch wrestling today. But I do agree with Martha Hart that she will never allow Owen to be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And she's not taking it out on the wrestlers or the people who loved Owen. Because the question still remains to this day: should Vince McMahon continue the show? That's been highly debated for years. Me, I think they should have ended the show. Taken the loss, because a loyal wrestler, a good man, had died. How can you go on? Owen, there's other ways of honoring Owen Hart. You don't have to go into the WWE Hall of Fame. And the one thing I also just learned by watching that, she said a lot of the Hart family wasn't in support of her suing Vince McMahon, because there was other aspiring wrestlers who felt like maybe they would get shunned out of wrestling. But, I know that AEW just did something with I think it was called the Owen Hart Foundation. And to me, I'll always remember Owen. Owen just was one of those unforgettable characters. But I found out something even more. He was an unbelievable person. Rest in peace, Owen Hart. Much love.